Hi, I'm Jerry James Stone, and today's video I'm here to tell you one thing and one thing only. Ain't nobody vegan. Nobody. Nobody vegan. And I'm going to explain that. I know there's going to be a lot of people like, I'm vegan, I've been vegan for like 25 million years and I'm vegan. No, you're not. Nobody is vegan. And here's the reason why. But before I get into that, let me just touch on a few things. So I don't know if you know this or not, but the term vegan was actually coined in 1944 by Donald Watson. He actually founded the Vegan Society in England. Now, basically, he was looking to get a bunch of people together around the idea that, it wasn't enough just to be vegetarian. It was that he wanted people who were dairy free. So like he coined the term vegan for vegetarians basically who were dairy free. In 1951, that changed. They changed the doctrine for the Vegan Society to go from just being non-dairy vegetarians, but to actually be people who were not exploiting animals. So a much broader version of what it meant to be vegan, kind of closer to what we know veganism today. Within the scope of veganism, there's kind of two main doctrines, I would say, or two ways of thinking about it. There's dietary vegans. These are people that just do not eat any animal products, right? So no beef, pork, eggs, honey, whatever. Well, we'll get back to honey. That's actually a little tricky, but they don't eat anything that's derived from an animal. It's really about dietary restrictions. Then the other side of that is more of an ethical vegan. And those are people who it's more animal activism. So maybe it's, environmentalism, sustainability. The reasons are a little bit more on the religious side of things. And I say that cautiously, but it's really more about the exploitation of animals that causes a dietary restriction, but it's not the reason that stop eating meat or anything animal based. It's more on the ethical side of stuff than just a dietary restriction. Just to wrap that up, the main difference between vegetarians, which is what I am, is that vegetarians will eat byproducts like cheese, eggs, that sort of thing, lacto-ovo vegetarians, or vegans, which do not eat any of that stuff. That's just so they're not the same. Why can't anyone be vegan? Well, here's the real reason. You can actually choose as a dietary restriction to not proactively consume animal products. You can not eat bacon, you can not drink milk, you can avoid other animal products. Or you can even avoid those things as an ethical vegan in your day-to-day life. Not wearing leather, not having silk sheets, not having any of those byproducts, which are not the direct consumption of animal products, but still the direct use of animal products. But here's the problem. So if you really want to get technical, which is what I'm going to do, food is not farmed in that way. Farming uses animal products, whether it's carrots or peas or spinach or broccoli or whatever. They use byproducts from animals. And that could be anything from the manure to bone meal to whatever. So if you really are like trying to, say, hey, I'm vegan, I do not consume anything at all that has touched animal products in any way whatsoever, then there's not really much you can eat. I think the only thing that you can actually eat is like maybe beans. Yeah, beans and legumes, like you can eat those. Like those can actually be grown without any of those animal products, but everything else is grown that way. And here's the kicker, right? Like usually, and I'm in this category too, people that are vegetarian or vegan, like they tend to want to be more conscientious of how we treat the earth. So it's more sustainable in their approach. So they eat things that are grown organically or biodynamically. Those farming practices actually use even more of those animal-based products because it tends to be anti-synthetics, right? So they don't want synthetic fertilizers. They're actually using more of the animal waste from I shouldn't say regular, but from conventional farming. So that animal waste is abundant in organic farming. So if you're a vegan and you're eating, choosing between organic carrots or conventionally farmed carrots, the organic carrots are actually more, at least on the vegan side of things, are less in your favor than the conventionally farmed ones because they use synthetics. Whereas like those, the bone meal and other animal waste is not used in farming. So when we're getting technical, in my opinion, no one's vegan, right? Like you're not vegan because there's animal waste throughout the food stream in a farming agricultural sense. So you can't avoid it unless you actually grow your own food. I just thought I would share. I would love to hear your opinion on this though. This is just the way that I'm looking at it. Please tell me what you think, drop a comment. and let me know if you think people can actually be vegan based on this information. I'll see you next time.